took place about 100 years ago in the town of Belz, where there was a famous rabbi, Rav Shalom of Belz, who was known all around the world. And as is the custom of many communities around the world, Jews start saying Selichot a few days before Rosh Hashanah, about a week or so before Rosh Hashanah. And as it was the tradition in this community, all of the Chasidim got together and waited in the large shul for the Rebbe to appear. A few minutes before the Rebbe is supposed to show up in shul and start the Davening, he tells his assistant, his gabbai, to get the carriage ready because they're going for a trip into the woods. The assistant thinks to himself, now Rebbe, of all the times, there are 1,000 Chasidim or more waiting in the shul for you. But of course the gabbai knows better than to say anything to the Rebbe, and he keeps his mouth shut. He gets the carriage ready, and they go into the woods. They get deep into the woods, and the Rebbe tells the gabbai to wait here while he watches the Rebbe go down this little path into the woods. The Rebbe gets to this little hut, and from a short distance he looks in through one of the windows in the hut, and he watches this old Jew who's sitting there at a table across from an empty chair. And on the table there are 2 glasses and a bottle of vodka. He sees the old chassid, he takes the bottle and he pours the first glass to the empty chair, the second glass to him, picks up the glass, says L'chaim, drinks down the vodka, notices nobody's drinking the other glass, says if you don't mind, takes the glass and drinks that too. Then he pours again, he does this 2 more times. And before you know it, the chassid is standing up. He's dancing and he's singing and he's running around the table and he's saying, I love you Hashem, I love you Hashem. With that, the Rebbe quickly goes back to his carriage, heads back to shul, where all the Chasidim are waiting. The Rebbe is already now an hour late for leading the davening, and all of the talking that was going on in the shul, boom, just like that, total silence. Away parts for the Rebbe to get through. The Rebbe goes up to the bima and starts the davening. After the davening, the Rebbe tells his assistant, the gabbai, he says, you're going to notice there's an old Jew sitting in the back of the shul. He came in late, and he's probably going to finish the davening late. When he finishes, I want you to tell him I'm waiting for him in my office. Okay, so the gabbai goes over to this old guy, and he says to him, the Rebbe wants to see you. And he says, me? The Rebbe wants to see me? Why would the Rebbe want to see me? Gabbai says, I don't know. The Rebbe wants to see you, and he's waiting in his room for you. So the old man, whose name was Zelig, he gets up and he goes to the Rebbe. And he's shaking. His whole life he'd never been invited to see the Rebbe. He didn't even know that the Rebbe knew he existed. He walks into the Rebbe's office, and of course he's in total awe of the holiness of the kedusha of the Rebbe. The Rebbe says to him, please Zelig, sit down. He says, the Rebbe knows my name? The Rebbe says to him, of course I know your name, Zelig. Listen, Zelig, I want to know what happened before Selichot. And Zelig says to him, what do you mean? He said, well, I want you to explain to me who was sitting in the chair across from you when you were saying a l'chaim. What were you saying a l'chaim about, and why were you dancing afterwards? Zelig looks at the Rebbe in total shock. He said, the Rebbe knows this? How does the Rebbe know that this happened? The Rebbe says, it doesn't matter how I know that it happened. Please tell me what was going on, I need to know. So Zelig said to him, Rebbe, you see, I'm an old man. And I live in this hut, I have nothing, I have almost no possessions in the world. My wife, God bless her soul, she passed away many years ago, and I lived there by myself. And, I had a few animals in the farm in the back. I had a cow, and I'd milk the cow, and I'd sell the milk in the shuk, in the marketplace. It happened one day, not so long ago, Rebbe, that the cow got sick. And I said to Hashem, you create the whole world every second, all the time. Please heal my cow. It's all I have. Please, heal the cow. And the cow got sicker and sicker and sicker. I said, Rebbe, this is not a joke. If you don't heal that cow, I'm never going to go to shul again. You'll never see me in shul again. The day after, the cow died, and I stopped going to shul. That was it, Rebbe. I was done. I'm not going to shul anymore. Then you won't believe what happened next. I had a goat. Same thing. I sold the milk in the marketplace. The next day, the goat gets sick. I said to Hashem, I'm not playing games with you, Hashem. If that goat doesn't get better, I'm never going to put on tefillin again. You hear me, Hashem? I'm not bluffing. The next day, the goat died. And I was so furious at Hashem. I said, I'm never putting on tefillin again. That's it. Then the next day, you won't believe what happened. I had a chicken. That's all I had left was a chicken. Laid some eggs. I sold the eggs. The chicken got sick. I said to Hashem, this is the last straw. If that chicken dies, I'm telling you, Hashem, I'll never keep Shabbos again. I'm done with you. I'm done with you. And you know what happened the next day, Rebbe? The chicken died. And I stopped keeping Shabbos. And that was it. I had it with Hashem. I was done. We were divorced as far as I was concerned. Never to get back together again. You know, I couldn't hold out very long. I saw I wasn't keeping Shabbos. I wasn't going to shul. I wasn't wearing tefillin. It was killing me on the inside, but I was angry at Hashem, and I wasn't going to give him the pleasure of watching me do these mitzvot. But then I said, Selichot are coming. And what, I'm going to not go to shul and be at Selichot with the Rebbe? So I remembered, years ago, Shmerel, the butcher, he and I, we got into a fight. We didn't talk for months. Shmerel, he comes over to my house, and he says, listen, Zelig, we Jews, we have enough enemies. We don't need to be enemies. Come, let's be friends. And he said L'chaim, and I said L'chaim, and we did it 2 more times. And before you know it, we're hugging each other and dancing around the table, telling each other how much we love each other and how much we love Hashem. So I figured, if I'm angry at Hashem, and it seems that Hashem is angry at me, how else can I make up with Hashem? I'll say a L'chaim. So I put a chair at the table for Hashem, and I poured him a L'chaim, and I poured myself a L'chaim, and I said, listen, Hashem, we Jews have enough enemies in the world. Let's you and I be friends. And I said L'chaim, and I noticed that Hashem wasn't drinking his, so I drink his too. And did it 2 more times. And then we started dancing around the table, and I told Hashem how much I love him. So the Rebbe now got very serious. And he said, listen, Zelig, there was a terrible decree on our community. And the reason is because everybody was davening, they were reading from the Siddur, but they were just reading the words. They did it with no heart, no intention whatsoever. But you, Zelig, your prayer was talking to Hashem like he's your best friend in the world. And because of you, the decree was broken.